Hi everyone, it's Marianne, and hello to all the happy paper people. I was watching some YouTube tutorials the other day, and I saw G. Kerr make something that became my inspiration for this. It's virtually what she made. You know, we just choose our own things to do with it, but it's just like a trifold, an element I could put into a journal, and it opens this way and then this way. And so you could put more or less journaling space on there. You could make it a theme of whatever type you wanted. This one's kind of birds, nature. And then you have the other side where it could open this way and this way. And this side was kind of butterflies and nature. And I like having the one inspirational word at the top of each page. So G. Kerr is the one that that gave me inspiration for this. But I sat down today to make one like this for the parish journal I'm working on, and I started cutting paper, and then I thought I should flip on the camera and show you how to do it so that you could make one too, because it really is quite a lot of fun. In fact, I have a couple journals already I'm thinking of ones that I could make it for. So we just need one piece of paper, and honestly, you could make this any size you want. The size that I'm going to make today, we're just going to use a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of copy paper so that you don't have to get anything special, cut down to anything special, or get a larger piece. And excuse me, this is plain copy paper. It is not coffee dyed, because as you can see, all of the paper is completely covered. So I don't want to waste good coffee dyed paper when it's just going to be covered with cute elements anyway. So if you would like to make one of these, grab a piece of copy paper. You can pause me while you grab it if you'd like. You can speed me up double time if you'd like. I tend to talk fast, so I'm trying to learn to speak a little bit slower while we're doing tutorials so that you can listen and actually hear what I'm saying. But if you hear fast and you want to speed me up, I'm okay with that too. So take this piece of paper and fold it in half. That's how we're going to start, is fold it in half. Then we're going to take one side and fold it back. Just match the edge up there and fold it backwards. We're going to flip it over and take the other side and fold it backwards and press that seam down. So now we have a piece of paper that looks like this. It's kind of shaped like an M. We've done that before with a mini book that we made. Or if you turn it over, it's shaped like a W. Either way, we've got two peaks and one valley right there. Okay, so that is our base, as simple as that. So I have some cardstock there's some that I've used in this parish journal, and so I kind of wanted to take elements that I've used and pull them all together in one of these. So this is the first one I cut out, and this piece of paper with this sparkly Eiffel Tower already had the City of Lights right here, and it was on this whole piece of paper. In fact, the rest of it is somewhere in here. So you can see that probably went right there. And there it is. This went right here. And, well, you know, there's another small one that went right here. That went right there. Or right here. No, was right the first time. Okay, but basically you see that I took this piece of paper. It was just a 6x6 cardstock that had this nice sparkly Eiffel Tower there and the City of Lights, and I decided I wanted to use that. So I cut the top off because that's about the right height, and you can really decide whatever height you want this to be. Your last one can't be obviously any taller than the piece of paper is, which is 8.5, but I want it to go inside a journal, and so I really don't want it to be 8.5. I really don't want it to even be 8. I want it to be a little smaller so it's more of an element to fit in the journal. So I made this one at 6 1/4. It's 6 1/4 tall. So my tallest piece of paper on here is 6 1/4. And so the shortest one is 3 1/2. So there is, so what I'm telling you is that there is not a specific, at least the way I've been doing them, there's not a specific dimension for each one of these. They don't have to be the exact same distance apart, because if I have a picture that I want to use here and it's slightly shorter or slightly taller, that's okay. I can bump this one up or make this one shorter, and I can even make this one, bump it up a 1/2 inch or make it shorter. All I want is enough distance between them that I can see these words. Now, if you look really closely at it, you can see that there's more distance between these two than there is between these two. But when you just look at it like this, does that bother you? Do you really even notice? No, I have a larger word there. So they really don't have to be the exact same distance. And I kind of like it when I eyeball it, and it ends up being cut where it fits to my eyeball, where it feels right, where it feels good, not where a specific dimension says it's going to be. So let's get rid of these cutoffs that we did. So I cut this off, and then I cut out here, and so this is what I had. Now, I know that that's too wide. If that's going to be, let's say that I was going to make this my first page, the front of this. Okay, so I only want it to be, 3-4 inches tall, but it can't be any wider than this. And just that right there, well, it still probably may need to be trimmed down just a hair, but that's pretty darn close right there. But that doesn't do anything for the City of Lights that's out there. But I really do like that. Don't want to cut it off there because that just looks funny, the City of, and it's nice and sparkly and it matches. So here's what I decided to do. I decided to cut out the City of Lights. And then when I put this on my paper, just bring the City of Lights in farther so the end matches with the end of the paper, and it goes right across the front of the Eiffel Tower. Instead of only covering half of it, it goes across the whole thing. So nobody would know that that's not the way it was on the piece of paper. So I like it. What I will do is do a little bit of vintage photo to make this not quite so white right underneath where that will be, just in case it's not lined up exactly perfectly, and then that bright white won't shine through. So that works for me. I also think that I will do the edges right now. I think it might be easier to do them right now, just to get the extra white off before I get those images put on. Okay, so if you haven't been over to Facebook and checked out our Happy Paper People Facebook group, you got to come check it out. We've got some super awesome people there, all different kinds of art. And it's really amazing because people share, and we look at other people's art in a completely different arena, and we get ideas for using in our arena. And people have made some great friends, and oh my goodness, I've never seen so many racks happen in any group. The racks, if you're not familiar, if you're new to the crafting and art world, there are random acts of kindness, RAK, and we're a fairly new group. We've only been around a few months, and we're just about now getting our rack list going so that we can have everybody's information to send racks. But people didn't even wait. People didn't even wait around to have an official rack list. We just had people doing racks all over the place, and people receiving happy mail, cool packages, small envelopes, just fun stuff. Lots of sharing going on in this group. It really, really is an amazing group. We have a great time with everything that we do. Sharon, my collaborator and friend, she's my collaborator on Facebook and on YouTube. does tutorials as well. And we just have so much fun doing these, making sure that I got all those edges. And I might have some more. I'll have the top edges when I cut these off. So, okay, but that at least, whoops, I forgot about the other side. And it is going to fold both ways, right? Oops, sorry about that crinkly paper. I love the sound of crinkly paper. I love paper that makes fun noises. But it's not so fun on a recording when you're trying to hear something and all you hear is paper crinkling. If I can get the edges of these, then I think it will go a whole lot faster. You could try it both ways, but I think it will go a whole lot faster by inking it first, inking these edges first, if you choose to, rather than waiting and inking them after your images are on, because it just becomes a much thicker thing and a little bit more labor intensive to get those inked up. And I'm not really concerned about this ink. See how some of it comes clear in here, others doesn't. And honestly, I don't want a little strip down there. If it was going to show, I wouldn't want a little strip of ink. I'm just slapping it on right now. I'm not really concerned about how that even looks, because I'm putting images on that are going to go right up to the edge, and they're going to cover anything inside. So really, literally, the only thing that's going to show is the very edge, and that's what I want inked, so we don't have the bright white sticking out between the beautiful images, distracting from them. So I've been working on this Paris journal, and last weekend we did a live, and I don't know why, I felt like making a mini Paris journal to go with my full-size Paris journal. I say well, it's mine because I'm making it right now, but it's actually a commissioned piece. The lady who I'm making it for, I just thought, you know, I'll bet she would just love a mini Paris journal. She could carry it in her purse, take it with her when she travels. I know she's planning a trip to Paris, so she could take that mini one with her to write in, and then bring back all of her ephemera and things that she keeps, and put them in the big one later and do more writing after she gets home. So so I decided to make her excuse me, frogs got my throat again. Decided to make her a mini, you know what, I think that, let's see, well, it's gonna fold this way, so that probably work. It's actually probably just a hair too wide. So let's cut it off just a tiniest bit. Let's see. Just a sliver. Let's see if that is sliver enough. Okay. There we go. On the front page, this will be the first image we see. And we get just a little bit of the inking around it. There we go. And some of them have to be able to turn both ways. And so you need to make sure that it doesn't go right to the edge, where if you try to flip it and turn and open this the other direction, it won't even do that. So, all right, so we're going to use art glitter glue today. You know, I like art glitter glue because not only will it go on in this nice fine stream here with the little metal nib, but it is wonderful on paper because it sticks very, very quickly and very, very firmly. So you don't have a lot of room to move this around, or a lot of time, I should say, to move this around once you put it down, because it's going to grab and it's going to attach and it's going to be permanent. And that's awesome when you're crafting, especially doing tutorials, because you know that it's going to be adhered good and hard, and you can just go on and not worry about it, you know, having to sit around and wait for it to dry. So that's why I like that. But the flip side of that is that if you set it down and you need to move the image a little bit, you literally have maybe 1 second, to do that. It does it here super quickly. So that's why I always position everything first, know exactly where I'm going with it. Okay, now the way I'm going to position this one is taking this right up to the edge, and then it will just go over as much as it covers. There we go. If I can get that little bit of glue along the edge that's squeezed out. I know it dries clear, but it's shiny, and I don't like that. Okay, so there's our first. All right, so second, let's see. I thought these four would be would be fun on one side. So let's see. This would be nice next to that one, but I have a feeling, just to check its height, well, that might not be too bad. Okay, because I want to get that whole dress form in. And so that would go up, that would be quite a bit higher right there. Okay, and let's see, what else do we have? Then this is a nice match for the flower. This would go next to it, so it would need to be taller than it, and it's not. It is not taller than it. Okay, so what if we did this? What if this went next, wherever it falls? And that's really pretty too. So what if that went third? And what if that one went fourth? And we make that our tallest one. That leaves enough room to put a word or a phrase or something up there. That'd be pretty on that side. All right, so let's do, sometimes I don't do things by, organized fashion, but I back my way into it to find my exact dimensions. So this is the smallest one, and I didn't want it any smaller than that. This is the biggest one, and it can't go any bigger than that. So that's as tall as it's going to be. So what I need to do, and then the other two are going to fall in between. So I'm going to get that tallest one on, and that one is 1 2 3/4. We already said that. 2 3/4 wide. So let's give that a quick trim at 2 3/4. Oh, we got the same thing. If I trim that at 2 3/4 right here, it's going to go right through that tray chic. We don't want to do that, but we can do the same thing we did with the City of Lights and just move that over. So I'm going to trim it right past those words. Okay, and then I'm going to, this is how I did the other one. Cut it out like this. And I need to cut it out and leave it right, pretty much right where I cut it out, because can't be trimming it up once I cut it out. If I start trimming it up, then I'm making it smaller. See, I didn't get good and close to that, but it's hard to do it on this side, not be able to see the edge. But if I start trimming stuff off, then I'm making it smaller, and then when I move it over, it's not going to fill that gap. Okay, so it goes to there. Now, 2 3/4. I don't want to cut the word, but I need to cut the rest of it at 2 3/4. So put that in there, and I'll cut 2 3/4. My word is stuck. There we go. And then all the way up here at 2 3/4. Okay, so that's how wide it'll be. So that really wasn't a whole lot, but it was, it would be the first 2 letters of that word would be cut off. So I'm going to get some tiny, tiny little scissors here and see if that helps to get in here. And actually, it doesn't have to be all the way to that edge, because that's going to be covered anyway. Okay. Let's take this one all the way down to the end. There we go. All right, there's our dress form. Let's get our scissors out of the way. There's our dress form. And we'll bring the tray chic and we'll put that. So I'm going to leave that little bit at the end that looks like the rest of the cardstock, because then it looks like, can you see it? Hopefully you can see that in there. It looks like it actually was printed right there, because that's the same print as the cardstock. And it will just go over it like that. So that's going to be perfect. That is going to be perfect. You know what I didn't do is round the edges, but I think I'll do that afterwards. Okay. I should give this one just a little bit of ink. It's got ink around the outside, but since I created a new outside by cutting it down the middle, I think I need to give that a little ink so that it looks like the rest of it. There we go. I think that's good. All right. Now we know it's going to go. Come on, out of my way. There we go. It's going to go right here on the tallest section. So I'm going to put it in there. I know it's got a fold. So if I put it right up to where it needs to be, it seems to be hanging over just ever so slightly, just literally a hair. So let's see if we can get just a hair. Just a hair off all the way down. That's pretty good, a hair. All right, let's see how that is. Perfect. But now we created a new edge over here, so it needs a little bit of ink. I'd say, wait till right before you glue it to ink it in case you keep cutting some off, but I would forget. So it's easier for me to ink it as I go, and if I have to redo that one little edge, then that's really not a big deal. Okay, so now we'll get our art glitter glue. I'm gonna make a little, come on. Probably shouldn't even leave it open between doing these because there's enough time in measuring and cutting them. Your art glitter glue dries out pretty easily. We don't want that. Want to keep a pin stuck in it, and it needs to be a stainless steel pin. Been some discussion lately among a couple of people I know about whether it really needed to be a stainless steel pin or whether somebody just said that, but it really could be any pin. Well, I can tell you from my own experience that if it's not a stainless steel pin, because I put a pin in it that had a really nice big ball on the end, so it's easy to grab and pull out, and I thought it was stainless steel, but it wasn't, because it didn't take very long and the glue rusted the pin. So then I had rust in the glue, and when I squirted the glue out, rusty glue came out, which was not very fun. I'm looking at this and thinking I need to trim the bottom of this up because it's no longer in the void, and it looks obviously like it doesn't belong there. Yeah, so it rusted the glue, and so the glue had rust on it, and thank goodness I was able to see that and get that out before putting it on a project where it was going to show. And the other thing is that the glue ate. I forgot to put some color underneath that. The glue ate away the pin, and so literally separated that ball at the head of the pin from the pin itself. And so I went to pull it out one day, grabbed the little ball on the end, and I pulled it out, and it came right off. And the pin itself, now without anything on the end to grab, was down in the glue, was down in the little metal part, was down in the little metal part where it should be stuck. You stick it there every day, and it stayed there because the little ball in the end came off. So that was not a treat, trying to get that out. There we go. Okay, that works. So yeah, then I had to try to figure out how to get that pin out of here without anything attached to it to help me pull it out. Not fun, people, not fun. So that's how I figured out that it wasn't a stainless steel pin after all. Okay, so we've got this one. Is that the one? This is one. That one's too short. That one's would be like the first one. Okay, and we've got this one. One of these. All right, that can go there, and then that can go there. So let's see how tall. We need to get our chandelier in here. So if we cut that off, hate to lose all that cool sparkle down there, but I think we need to. I think we need to, because we can't have a huge difference between there, because then we need to have some difference between this one, right? That's not very much difference. They don't have to be the same. We just want it to be substantial enough that we can tell that there's a step there. Okay, so let's do this. Where is a pencil? Get a pencil and can just mark about approximately where we're going to cut that there. And should have marked it on the other side as I put it here, but I'm going to turn it around this way. Okay, right there. So I'm taking only off about 1 inch off of that. If that was even on the bottom, and I don't know if it was. Okay. So that looks like it's within the crease, and this looks like it's just barely over the crease. So one of them isn't perfectly even. And I'm going to say, if I can line this up and just take off ever so slight hair there on the bottom, that should fit in right nicely. And it does. Okay, perfect. So let's get that one on. See if you have these cut, or you could decide on dimensions ahead of time, know exactly where you want them. And so if you wanted to turn this into a, what's the word? Oh, where you have a whole bunch of them lined out, you do a whole bunch at a time. You do one step and then the next step. And yeah, all I can think of is conveyor belt, and that's not it. You lose words when you start to film. You just do. All of a sudden, you can't remember normal everyday words like your name. Yeah, if you wanted to do them in alignment like that, where you did all the paper and then you did all the number 1 and all the number 2, you could see how tall you want the top one, and then you could figure out the exact difference between the 3 of them, and that would be easy. I just really kind of like to eyeball it. So, all right, so this one, I want all the flower on, so I'm going to turn it around this way so that when I mark, okay, so I like the distance between that, and I like the distance between that. That's okay. So that's where I want to be. So I need to mark this. Hopefully, yeah, make a little indent even though it's black. If we can see that little indent there, we'll know exactly where to trim. All right, how's that for height? Height looks good. I'm good with that. Now we need to cut side to side. I think I'll take a little bit more off over here. I really like this swirl here. I'd like to keep that in, and I don't think I'll get any of that in, but I would sure like to. But we don't need the greenery over here because we've got plenty over there. So let's see how close we can get. Let's see what that gives us. I still want to keep the flowers. We've got the whole flower here. We only cut off a portion of a leaf there. And see, this is going to end up cut off here. So, but we do get the nice swirl in, and we still have that one. So that's all right. All right, so what I need to know, that these are 2 3/4. I don't need to know that. We already did that. We already did that 3 times. So 2 3/4 right here. 2 3/4. There we go. There's 2 3/4. Perfect. All right, ink it up. Assembly line. If you'd like to do them assembly line style, then you certainly could measure, divide by 3, and decide exactly what those dimensions are going to be of each one of these 4 frames, folds, whatever you want to call them, panels. Each one of these is basically a panel. You could decide what the exact dimension that you wanted each panel to be. Okay, that one should have been trimmed down just a hair. I'm going to do that before we're totally, just a hair, not too much. Hopefully that's enough there. Yep, that was perfect. Perfect. Okay, there we have it. All right, so once I've got all 4 of those on, then all I have to do is cut along here. So this is easy. So I can do that by hand, but I think I'm going to try, the first one I did by hand, I'm going to try this and see. It's just thin copy paper. I'm going to see if I can cut through it. And there's only, there we go. There's only, oh, there's a perfect little journal size. There's only one that height. So I know when I cut through that, I'm not cutting anything else that I don't want to cut. And now I got this one. That one. So the rest of them I can't do on there unless I, just do them one at a time. So those I will cut by hand. That's actually super simple. I'm going to do each of those. I'm going to cut it right down. So when I cut across, that'll already be down to that panel. Okay. Let's see if I can get underneath that. I could go the other direction. I'm going to have to go the other direction. I just don't like going this way because I'm right-handed. If I was left-handed, this would be the most logical. All right. We're going to do a Marianne wants a straight cut. So I'm going to pull out this little razor that fits on my finger. And I want a, sorry, did not mean to bump you there. I do apologize. So I'm trying out a couple of different positions for my camera to see what gives you the best angle, the best view of everything. So if you have thoughts or opinions on, you can obviously tell that this is placed differently than my past tutorials have been, but I thought I would try out a couple of different angles. So if you see a tutorial and you really like the camera angle, or you really don't like the camera angle, please leave a comment and let me know. And if you can, include a why, like I really like it because it allows me to see blah, 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 or, whatever it is, or I don't like it because of whatever, that would really help me out. And we'll find the perfect camera angle and just stick with it. All right, so all I'm doing is using this, using this ruler as my guide. I could use the ruler and just tear it, but I cut them, so I'm just cutting them. I'm just putting that along the very edge. So now remember, we still have to put images on the other side of each of these panels. So we're not quite done. But what we've got here already is our trifold. Let's see, like that. So what's interesting is that when you close it, it's two from the other side that show. So we can open it that way. We could probably fold it that way. This one's a little tight with the word, and I don't want to jack that one up, and I already did. Glue all over my nails from today. So I'm going to trim that just a hair because it's going to get bent off anyway. And rather than have him get all bent up, we'll just purposely make him that size. All right. So there we are. All right. So we've got this one, and we're going to put some words on there or phrases, but let's real quickly here do the other side. Still want it to go in the Paris journal, so it's got to, kind of be on the Paris theme, but it doesn't need to be these same images. So now this one is already over here, so I don't want to use that one, obviously. This one is a really nice match with that one, though. So let's see. That's quite pretty. That's quite pretty on there. So that's a really good option. Ooh, look at that. Sparkly feather. Let's see. That's kind of pretty too. That would work. That green doesn't really match a whole lot. This is wrapping paper, but look how pretty they are. That would be a nice one too. That would actually go with that really well. Not that one, not quite as much. But I've got this glassine bag too, and I thought, a glassine bag could actually be that one right there. And then I could stick some surprise tags or journal cards in there. Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. All right, so then there's some fun Paris ones. That would be pretty. Dye that. These are coffee dyed scrapbook papers that Ellie from Elsie Bell's Bookshelf coffee dyed for me. We did a swap. She coffee dyed paper, and I traded her a bunch of wallpaper. So we both got something that we wanted to use, and didn't have. Let's see, that's a pretty one. And so is that one. All right, I really like this too. This is a napkin on a book page. Wouldn't see the book page, but that would certainly make a pretty one. Pretty page in there as well. What if we used part of that right there? And so this one ended up being that and that, and that, and what's going to pull those two together? Is it going to be the pink? That would probably work. How about the roses? That would work too. How about some of these pretty ladies? Is there any blue here? There's a lot of purple. Oh, there's blue, but that's not tall enough. There's blue, a little bit of blue right there, but that would actually, let's see. Yeah, that's not, I had to cut it off right there. That would cut right at that seam for that lady. Would go right there. Yeah, that's kind of awkward because she's just not right in the middle. There's a little girl wearing blue. Go right there. Kind of awkward scene though. She's sure pretty. All right. So what if we did that? And then what if we did that? Those are all really pretty. That doesn't have a ton of color, but we can add an embellishment on to it. Is this one too dark? No, good colors. Not good color. That one, nope. I feel like that one should go that direction, so that doesn't work. And, ooh, how about that? That's got some cool writing on it. Yep, that's it. That's the one that works. All right, so let's get the rest of it out of here. Yeah, it takes longer to figure out what you want to use and make the choices than it actually does to make some things. Okay, so we know exactly where they're going to go, and it doesn't matter what direction or what order we put them on, because we know exactly what their dimension needs to be because they have to be the same size as the paper that's already cut. Well, this glassine bag, we know is going to fit. We know is going to fit right there. That's cool. I really like that. I really do. But I do think I want to round that corner right there and see if that gets a little closer to the glassine bag. I'm going to do it with the 1/4 inch. Put that down so we don't tear it. Okay, so that makes a nice round on this side. I like that. But on this side, I was hoping that it will bring that top down, and it did. Okay, so we just give it a little bit of ink up here. Okay, so we know our glassine bag will go right there, and we know that's going to fit perfectly. So let's get that glued down, and so we can quickly cut the others. You know, I'm just going to put it on here because we know that it's going to fit the whole thing. In fact, or do we? Except the corner up there, so it's okay. I'm going to go like this, and if we need more closer to the corner, we can put it underneath the edge to glue that down. It doesn't take a lot of our glitter glue because it is so strong. Want to make sure it's adhered well, but don't want to overdo it with a glue that will do it with a smaller amount. This glassine bag, this is a napkin on it, actually. I'm sure that you can see that it's super shiny and not, just the normal glassine look, and the sound is even different. That's because I glued, Mod Podge. I didn't use Mod Podge though, or what do you say? What's the word? Again, I've lost my words. Anyway, I glued a napkin on it, and I really love doing that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the green is going to go down here. We know that it's 2 3/4 wide. And how tall is it exactly? 1, 2, 3.5. Okay. Oh, almost dropped my pencil, landed on my leg, and balanced itself so perfectly like a teeter-totter as it wobbled back and forth. And as I went to pick it up, I snapped it, and then it fell off anyway. So, all right, I really like this vintaged stuff down here. So I'm going to use that. So I said 3.5 high. I need some of these things out of our way until we need them. Right now they're just taking up space. I said 3.5 high. I'm going to give it just a hair more. If I have to trim it down, okay, but I can't add any more on. I can always trim some off, but I can't add any more on. So 2 3/4 wide. Let's get our width so it'll fit right on there. There we go. 2 3/4 wide. And let's see, how is our fold? Our fold is like this. Okay, so when that's in there, has to be able to fold that way, which means it can't go too deep into that fold, which means a tiny bit more has to come off the edge there. So just a hair over there and just, oh, ever so slightly hair across the top. All right, so let's do that, just a hair. I don't want it to come off that side. I want it to come off the inside because I really like that paper is already aged, you know, vintaged from the factory, and I really like it. So I want to keep that. And just a hair off the top. So let's see how that works there. I think that'll work just fine. All right. So let's ink up the top of that page. And we've got some good ink down there on the bottom, but let's get rid of these white edges that we trimmed off. And let's glue that one down. Do you ever get, what do they call them? Songworms? Brainworms? Brainworms, I think that's what it is. A song stuck in your head, or worse, a phrase from a song. I get that. I get a phrase from a song. Always a good song. Well, most songs are good because I love music. But I get a phrase from a song stuck in my head, and it just plays over and over. And then whatever I'm doing, randomly, I'll start singing that song, that phrase. And the one that's in my head now, All of Me. You know who that is? And old John singing All of Me in my head has been going through there for about 2 weeks now. I think that's enough. I think it's time to get a new song, but it's just there. It's still there. Okay, I really like this good vintage right there. So we'll go from the top this time. We know we need 2 1/2 wide. I'm sorry, 2 3/4. I heard you yelling at me. Thank you. Thank you for stopping me before I cut that. I know we don't have to go all the way down, so I'm not going to. And let's see. Let's just measure how tall it needs to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. It's about 5 1/8. It might be a healthy 5 1/8. So let's do this. 5 1/8. Let's go 5 1/4 and trim it from there. Again, I can't add any on, but I can always take some off. So let's make sure we have enough to work with. That all the way to the bottom, and you can see what we need to take off there. Less than a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to take it off of the bottom because I want to keep that nice aged part of the paper up top. It's probably, I'm going to put that on. If it's hanging over a little bit, we'll trim it up with the scissors. We can do that. Doesn't have to be perfect anyway because it's handmade, right? I mean, it's cool when it looks professional, like it came out of a machine, but I don't want somebody to look at what I give them and think that it's so perfect it came out of a machine and then question that I made it. So I'm okay with a little bit of something here or there that just shows that it's handmade and that I'm human, not perfect. Of course, my husband would say that I am perfect, but that's just because he's a sweet man and he loves me. I know I'm not perfect. And my art certainly isn't perfect, but that's okay. I'm happy with it. All right, so I really wanted to take just this. You can see where there's a a seam there, probably. I probably brought 2 napkins up to each other to use at that book page. And I wanted to use the smaller one, but it's about 1/8 of an inch too small. So we're going to have to go from this one. And we're going to take the top or the bottom. I say we take the top. I like all that writing and stuff up there. Okay, so we know that's 2 3/4, right? You got that down now. It's 2 3/4 wide. So there's our 2 3/4 wide. Yep. Perfect. All right. And how long is this last piece? This last piece is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 exactly. Couldn't be any easier than that. 6. Exactly. There we go. Okay. Let's get a little bit of ink on this one. Okay. And we'll ink this up once we get it on there because it'll give it a little more stability. Probably should have taken that top off. There's the remnants of the piece of paper that was above it under the napkin. But it's going to be glued down. So I'm going to match up the top first to make sure that's glued down. And so if there's anything else extra that we need to trim off, it can come off the bottom because I know there's not going to be enough to trim off that whole little thing. So let's do that this way. We're going to glue all the way around. Okay. And we're going to put that one right in the corner. Oops, come on. Won't move already. Right in the corner. There we go. Right in that corner. Take it all the way down. And it's got to fold inside. So let's make sure it's got enough room to fold inside. Yep. Okay, it's perfect there. So that pushes it out a little bit and we can trim this edge. So not a problem at all. All right, so that's down nice and firm. Now you can see that we have just a hair right here and just a hair down the edge. And for me, it's just quickest to do like this. I don't know why. It's just quicker even than grabbing a pair of scissors because I can line this up and take it off just like that. Of course, that little piece of napkin wants to get hung up because it's so flimsy. That was the very edge of the napkin. Okay, here we go. All right, so now I like the rounded corner here. So I'm going to round all of the others. I'm using the 1/4 inch rounder. You could use a 1/2 inch too. Doesn't make any difference. I'm just using the 1/4 inch. Okay, so I've got a round corner there and right here. And actually, looking at that and I'm seeing just a hair that needs to come off there, but we'll ink that. And when we ink it, it'll cover up that white. And so it won't matter. It won't need to come off. Something's hanging over the edge right there though. So let's just give that a tiny snip. And again, we'll ink that corner. Okay, so there we go. Where's our last rounded corner? Should be right here. And actually, because that's the tallest one, we might want that one too. So let's, okay, I think so. And I'm making it so I get to decide. Yeah, napkin's getting hung up just a little bit. That's what I did on this one now. And now that I see that, I did rounded on both of them. Okay, I like that. This side's straight. All right, so it does need, we're done with that. We do need a little bit of ink around it. We just want to get all these edges, especially any that are white, sticking out from where they were trimmed. Love how napkins ink up. I love putting napkins down on paper and then making things with them. They look so cool. They feel so cool. Love putting them on glassine bags. All right. We get that one on that side, not on this side. I'll go down all down one side and then up the other, but I tend to look at this panel and say, do both sides, all 4 sides of that panel, and then move on. That way I know I don't have to come back to it. Okay, that's a little tight there. It doesn't get bent that way, so that's better. All right, this side, between it. Okay, the bottom. And the glassine bag. I could use a little bit of ink up here. A little bit down the side. On that side. It looks like it's been sitting around for years. Yeah, I don't like the white edges of the paper, the cardstock. 2 layers of cardstock and 1 layer of paper. When you cut it straight, you're going to see the white in there, so that's what I want to cover up. I don't want that white to glare out at me or anybody. Okay, that one is just a little bit overhanging. It's bugging me. I thought it wouldn't, but it is. So I'm just going to trim it off just like that. There we go. All right, now I got to ink that up again because I made a new cut. But it's not overhanging and it's not bugging me. So, perfect. All right. Okay, so there we have one side and then the other side. So they do need a word or a phrase. Let's see how quickly we can get a word or a phrase on them. Like this one, they don't need to be the same. Got a bunch here. Some of these might have some, let's see. This is pretty busy, so it'll need to be something simple. Might even need a white background. Live simply, live abundantly. That's kind of nice, but it's too wide to put both of them on, I think. But we could put one on one and one on the other. Over here, I feel like it might need black or pink. Right before my eyes. It's too wide, but that's cool. Gratitude. The gratitude is good, and that color kind of sort of matches right there. So that would be good. In the moment. In the moment. I could trim that up and make that fit. Each moment is a gift. Okay, we've got a bunch of others. Let's see what's in here. This makes me happy. You know what? We might just mix and match. Oh, look at this. These are cool too. These are cool. In fact, oh, come on. If you don't come out, I have to just tear you. And I'd prefer not to. Glue all over my fingers. These are kind of cool. This says my truth, where I saw it, that this is me. And because that green, that would be really pretty right there, wouldn't it? Come on. I have no idea how old these are, so how good the sticky is. Well, and that sticky did not come off. Maybe it's not supposed to. I don't know. But that's okay because, whoops, not that one. Even if it did come off, I would be putting some of this on it anyway because I want to make sure that it is a permanente. Oh, come on. Now I've just left this out just a little too long without putting the pin down in it. Okay. This is chipboard. I'm going to put that right up there at the top. Kind of wish I'd inked the edges of that before I set it down, but I can still do that. Let's see what else we have. Oh, this bird is pretty. That might be pretty up there on the, it's not phrase or words, but what have we got over here? This is my story. That might be cool right there. We didn't leave any that were really specifically for writing, journaling on. You can journal on this and you could journal on this, and we'll put some cards in there. In fact, and I might even put a flip out on one of them that has journaling space inside of it. But let's see. What am I seeking? What am I seeking? That's interesting. And that would be kind of fun on the Eiffel Tower one. So let's do that. Makes you think, doesn't it? What am I seeking? Traveling, postage stamps. Okay. I should have inked that one before I put it down. Let's see if I can get it last time. Almost the last time here. Okay, what's on this one? So this is me, Sweet Spring. Nope, Happy Place. Happy Place. That's kind of a nice one for there. Awesome. Awesome is a good one for there too. Capture this moment. All right, we need some where the color is going to fit. All right, that awesome will go right there. Because these are going to be harder to match colors to. And I know it's already a sticker, but stickers are rarely permanent, so we're going to make it permanent by putting art glitter glue. And I have a feeling I just got way too much art glitter glue on it. I just won't push it down hard. Make sure the edges are down, and it'll adhere by itself very quickly. Okay. One of a kind. One of a kind. Okay. Nope. What do we want? All right. I don't think there's anything more in there. Something with the Eiffel Tower. Let's see. The Live Simply or Live Abundantly would go match on that flower pretty nicely. And so would Gratitude. Something with In the Moment. There we go. I was looking for something with the light, early pale green color. When you're at the Eiffel Tower, you ought to be in the moment. And just, it's too long. Okay, which is not a problem, except I should have checked that out before I put glue on it, because I want to cut the ends off, and I just don't want these scissors all glued up. I do have a pair of glue scissors, but all right, let's do this. We don't have to take off much. Just a hair over here. Might have been off camera with that one. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. So I wiped a little more glue off than I needed to. But I don't like my good scissors being gluey. In the moment. Yeah, so if you get a chance to visit the Eiffel Tower, be in the moment. Enjoy it. And we'll round this corner. As soon as that adheres, we'll round that corner up there. All right. Okay, and what that purple does not match. Each moment is a gift. That will work. In the moment, each moment is a gift. I think I'm going to take just the hair off of this end. There's only a hair to take off, but we're going to take it off. I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. And let's just get a little bit, just enough to make it stick forever. Okay. Take that all the way to the top because we've got that glassine bag behind it, sticking it. Move. Oh, phew, I almost didn't get that one where I wanted it because it stuck, adhered so fast that I couldn't move it. Okay. And now these two are pretty darn straight. Could have rounded the corners. I will round this here. And this one is not. So I like this one maybe to not be as well. So we can do the live abundantly. Either live simply or let's do the live abundantly. And they're all on different colors. They're all different script. Okay, let's take off this end. Let's see how that, yeah, that'll work. And then we'll end up just rounding that corner off where the flower is. Okay. All right, sorry if my fingers are covering so that you can't really see what I'm doing there. That may be a drawback of that camera angle. And the advantage of this camera angle was I was able to get you in really nice and tight, close, so you can see everything up close. I hate when the camera's so far away that I really can't see well at all. But the disadvantage might be that it's so close that my fingers cover things sometimes. All right, so if we want something on the glassine bag, how about this? Just happy. Just happy. Oh, you know what? Huh, I just learned something by pulling this one up. They have this backing on them that comes off, and there's adhesive on here, which is not very sticky at all. And because it had sticky on the back of that onto the paper it was on, I thought that that was the sticky. I'm not going to worry about taking this up because this is going to go right down over the top of it. But if I leave it there, eventually the sticky on this, which is not sticky at all, is going to go away completely, and then that's going to fall off, and it would be left with just that one little backing glossy paper. That would not be good. So I'll just take it off now and do it right. Oh, and I should have just inked it before I put the glue on it. Get a second chance, and I still blew it with inking my chipboard piece. That's funny. All right, now I need it to be in the exact same spot so that it covers it. But, oh, we need to make sure that goes down. Where was that one? Let's see. Oh, sorry for bumping you there. Some of them came right off of it, like that one just did. Happy, where's the happy I just pulled off to go on here? It's underneath. There it is. All right, we'll remember and give that a little bit of ink. It's around that chipboard. It's, what is it, kind of gray, just cardboard color. And we can ink it up a little bit so it just looks like old vintage sign instead of just new cardboard. New cardboard, old world words. There we go. I'm going to put that down there because I really like seeing that canceled postmark. And we'll give this guy just a little bit so we can get it along the edges there. That works. All right, we need one more. We're right here. Do we have one that fits on here? We've got moments, we've got sweet, we've got this makes me happy, and that would bring some green out. That would work. Or we've got peace. Let's see. I do like that. This makes me happy. I do like sweet. I do like time of our lives. These are all this chipboard wood look. So I'm going to make sure this last one isn't. Cherish these moments, for we don't know if we'll pass this way again. That's more orange, and this is more pink and red. So I think maybe this one, this makes me happy, can go right here. A little bit of glue, because it'll make me happy if it sticks forever and ever. And boy, that's white. But you know what we do with these things that are way too bright? We just ink them up a little bit and knock them down. There we go. We knock that brightness right down. Okay, so we have what am I seeking? Oh, I wanted to put a tiny bit of glue right here because that napkin was coming up. So let's see if we can get that under there and make sure it wants to stay. We'll just get those corners while we're there. And let's see, that's looking pretty good. There's I thought I saw a corner somewhere. That's that corner right there. Okay, so now let me put this back, make sure that we've protected it. Not gonna all dry out. All right, what do we have? We have what am I seeking? This makes me happy. Happy, and this is me. And on the other side, we have in the moment, and we need to round the corners. Let's go back and do a quick once over. Got the 1/4 inch. Just gonna round the corner right there. Okay. And that one is all ready. This one, which way did it go? That way. Okay. And that one doesn't need to be. All right. So that's it. So then on this side, we have in the moment. Each moment is a gift. Love abundantly and awesome. And there we go. So then I will fill this glassine bag with some journal cards and tags that she can write on. And there we have it. It can be opened this way, or it can be opened this way. Isn't that cool? All right. So thanks for joining me. Do appreciate it. Hope you had a good time. I sure did. I will see you again soon. I'll see you at the next tutorial. So until then, stay curious and learn something new.